Eskom is holding another round of wage negotiations with labour unions at the National Bargaining Forum. Unions are demanding a 15% salary hike for their members as part of early talks. The current 7-year multi-year agreement is due to expire in June of 2026. But the National Union of Mineworkers has already raised several issues that could potentially stall progress. Watching the very latest on these negotiations is SABC News economics reporter Katlego, Legodi, who joins us now live from Sandton, where these talks, I understand, are taking place. And Katlego, we know that this to and froing can take quite some time. And I suppose for the ordinary South African, the concern is whether or not this will affect the provision of electricity in a context where we haven't seen load shedding, for example, in quite a while.
Most definitely, a very good morning to Ayanda and to our viewers at home. The last time these wage negotiations were taking place, we were at the heart of load shedding, the rolling blackouts, and this time around they're coming through at a time when we're seeing a stability in terms of the country's grid. But there are concerns. You're right to say that if these talks then stall, there could be some of interferences in terms of the provision of electricity, which is why these parties have started these wage negotiations very early. We understand that the wage, this offer that they have, the 3-year multi-wage offer would cease to exist within June 2026. But we see them just coming together to try by all means to bring this forward in terms of the wage negotiations. There are already sticking issues, Ayanda, and I'm going to bring into the conversation this morning the Deputy President of the NUM, the National Union of Mineworkers. They are the largest majority union here at Eskom, and it'll just give us a sense of how the talks are going. Mr. Khwari, thank you very much for joining us on the SABC. Maybe just give us a sense of where the parties are. We know very well that you've been meeting, pre-bargaining as well, to try by all means to iron out all of these issues ahead of the tabling of your demand. But already hearing that there's a 15% that you've started with as the NUM. But just give us a sense of where the talks are right now. Welcome to the SABC.
Thank you, and morning to you and your viewers. Look, wages are just beginning. We're at the beginning of our wages. They are a national question. Of course, we are very responsible. That's why trade unions and Eskom has agreed to start wages very early. We are starting now so that we make sure that there's no disruptions in terms of the business in Eskom. Unfortunately, we are unable to give you the details of the negotiations inside as part of the agreement of our engagement. You know, when you engage, you set up things that you do, do's and don'ts. Among don'ts is not to divulge the processes inside until we're finalized. So in the interest of that, I will not go to that space. However, yes, we have started negotiating. It is going to be a very fruitful exercise, we believe, because we started earlier. And all that is in the interest of the country and making sure that we stabilize Eskom.
Yeah, but in early talks, and the last time we spoke to the union ahead of this process here, there was a concern around a decentralizing of this process, as we know that Eskom has been separated into 3 entities, and the worry was that are we centralizing or decentralizing? Are you finding each other, at least on that particular point? Are we seeing these talks taking place centrally in terms of the bargaining, or they're going to be split into generation, supply, and in terms of what is happening, the split of Eskom?
Yeah, look, we're bargaining centrally here. It's Eskom Holdings bargaining. So we're not decentralizing. Our position is known as NUM and as Labour with regard to Eskom and its position on unbundling its business. So we're bargaining centrally here for all employees at Eskom Holdings.
All right, thank you very much for your time. Olehile Khwari coming through as the Deputy President of the National Union of Mineworkers. They're a majority union at Eskom with about 15,000 of the staff complement there. And the worry, Ayanda, was that the decentralizing of this process, and you hear the parties saying at least there, they're finding each other. Hence, we see Eskom bring its delegate. 3 unions in attendance here. One would be Solidarity, the other one will be NUMSA, and the National Union of Mineworkers, all bargaining for their members there at Eskom. Ayanda, I speak to you in studio for now.
Katlego, Legodi is live to us there from Sandton. Very important story for now. Thanks very much indeed.